What is up, everyone? Welcome back. This is the Diginacci Sequence. I'm Will Carr with three awesome co-hosts. What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing today?
What's
Doing
going on,
good,
man?
Will. Are
Doing
you on a
great.
minimal setup over there, or what's going on?
Me, you don't like my wide zoom 4K?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not digging the non-mic thing, so I might take the reins here.
Man,
But
I
there
just got a
you
mic now.
go. My goodness gracious. There
You
you
know,
are.
that's what the editing's for.
There
It's
you
to make
go.
the sound better when it's all said and done.
Well, it's been a crazy week, crazy few days. Duran, Phil, how are you guys doing over there in the east, northeast?
Cold. It's
Cold as
freezing
hell.
out here. Yeah.
Man, it was 55 degrees today at 9,000 feet at my house today. It was a beautiful
Wow.
thing. I
Wow.
was shirtless. It was great. Got a little sun today.
I'll tell you what, if I go outside without no shirt on, I'm gonna probably get frostbite. It's that damn cold out here. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're
No
freezing.
fun.
It's like
No fun over here.
19. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
cold.
we've
It
got
just
some
feels
crazy.
like a classic spring day in Colorado. I was outside without a shirt on, doing cold plunges,
Yeah, Will likes to go to the local lake in Evergreen
listening to the
and
birds.
jump into the frozen tundra. They cut a nice rectangle out there, and he jumps in, swims to the other side, and everyone freaks out.
No, they
Wow.
haven't even opened the Evergreen Lake. They had to postpone it to March 1st. It's been such a mild winter. There was no ice on the lake
Man, why you got to do that to me live on the air?
because you don't know any better.
Oh man,
But the creek I jumped in had I mean, it was mostly frozen over. So it was intense. It was intense. I was cold to the core for hours today.
Jeez.
just like the market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dun, dun.
I was like, if I can get colder than the market, maybe the market will turn around.
Yeah, we've gone through
I
an
like
emotional roller coaster this week in our text thread. Will is he might not look like it, but well, there it is.
There's a couple grays in there.
Yep, I see him coming through. They're brand new though.
You like
Yeah.
this
only-
hairstyle, the only way you get it is by trying to pull your hair out consistently for a week.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it looks good. Well, I did notice in the span of 24 hours that over $15 trillion of market cap in the metals game was wiped out. That is way more than our GDP. We have seen cryptos just take a huge dive. I'm not freaking out. I've checked the charts maybe once a day. It's been fantastic. But we can see that MicroStrategies is probably up shit creek right about now, which is
Absolutely.
entertaining to say the least. But Phil, you said you had quite a bit to talk about today. I'm going to pass the baton to you.
Yeah, thanks. I've been going down this JE file release that just got dropped recently. A lot of emails to go through, and I was really pissed off earlier today when I came across the emails of JE talking to Austin Hill about stonewalling Ripple and Stellar, and literally made my blood boil. And it's been boiling all day. Apparently, they shut down a partnership with Google about a decade ago with Mojaloop. And I remember all the Mojaloop hype when it came out about 8 or 10 years ago. And that was tapping in Africa. So mobile payments are huge in Africa. And it looks like Google was about to go full public adoption with Ripple back when Ripple was actually called OpenCoin. And they were going to just take over the African market out there with mobile payments. And it looks like JE and his friends from the old Bitcoin Foundation shut that down. Horrible.
Wow.
It's also an irrefutable fact now that they were working with Hinman and Gensler to start the lawsuit and all the litigation. I mean, pure evil in my book. I really hope there's some sort of punishment for these guys that have gone that put us through this and are still out there, Hinman, Gensler, etc. It's just crazy, man.
Well,
Yeah,
they all
I
have
wouldn't
one.
hold my breath.
They all have one thing in common that we can't talk about on YouTube, but
Yep.
I'm not surprised. Anytime I see this kind of information or hear about it, I'm just not surprised anymore. The manipulation is as deep as it gets. We've seen some crazy market making moves this past week that would scare anybody out, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're doing anything they can to discourage us, which the text thread has been fairly discouraging. Will,
Yeah.
y-
You
you
know,
know,
I think everyone's discouraged out there right now, but I mean, the fundamentals have never looked better. And it's crazy to say that with a market downturn like we're seeing. This bleed off is crazy, but seriously, the fundamentals are out of control. I mean, Ripple was out there with the WEF in Davos. The only other major crypto company there or blockchain company was Hedera. You know, of
Yeah.
course, Coinbase was there, but I mean, just for Ripple to be sitting at a table with those guys is huge. The fundamentals are still off the charts. And honestly, I've said it before, I'll keep saying it. We're going to remain in limbo until clarity's passed. So until we get clarity through, I mean, we're just going to sit in limbo here.
You see that they had that emergency meeting with Coinbase, Ripple, and a few other companies with the Senate, with the crypto, crypto czar and all that stuff, because they got the rumors rolling. Well, it ain't even rumors. Like the bank that's in Chicago is insolvent, and so that's why the markets is taking a tank, because we are literally watching the financial system unfold and crash in real time. And it's not even like a conspiracy no more. It's like in real time, things like this just don't happen. $15 trillion in all assets literally is nowhere to be safe. No, it's no asset to save. It's outrageous. Like oil, like precious metals, crypto, stock, treasuries. The dollar itself is like a piece of like paper right now. So it's like it ain't nowhere to hide. And then we got banks going insolvent. So like you literally see what's happening on Monday. I think that we're gonna take another leg down. Unfortunately, I just because the markets are reacting to the news and we haven't even hit the open market yet. So like on Monday, the market opens up and then the news will come out and we'll know that this bank is insolvent and which big bank is going to buy it, blah, blah, blah. But that's going to be bearish for the market and we're going to see another drop. So I'm just locking in for a lot of bad days. But like you said, the actual fundamentals are phenomenal. Like the news we getting about crypto and adoption is outrageous. It's so bullish that it don't even make sense that we are red right now. It's crazy. But that's how you know manipulation is here. Once the big institutions got here, we was so happy about it. But this is the other side of that. This is the other side of that coin. The other side of the coin is they can manipulate it and treat it just like they did stocks, just like they did silver, just like they did gold. And unfortunately, they got their hands on crypto. Until they get the Clarity Act, we gonna deal with this shit for the next months, I'm guessing.
There's nothing that the Clarity Act resolves that guarantees they can't manipulate the market anymore.
well, this
I mean,
great
that's
this
true.
great financial reset checklist. I mean, we're damn near the bottom right now, and we're watching it unfold. All these things have to take place. The dollar has to fail. I mean, we saw silver go from 122 to what? 70 something?
Yeah, like
That
73 or some shit. Yeah, it was
that
crazy.
that is insane, but we're watching it unfold, and we've all known this for a long time that we have to go through this heartache. We have to go through this crash, the real bottom before we rise from the ashes.
It's just,
I just
yeah,
think
who knows
that
how long that could take. I mean, I want
that's
to,
the problem.
it's like, who knows? Who knows? Yeah, the market sucks, guys.
You know,
I've had some choice words to say about the market this week,
It's
and
been great.
none of them are good. And it just has sucked. Like it's never been a week in the market that sucked so bad. Like it just has felt so awful.
I think
This
this
past
week has
week.
been worse than that October dip. Like to
I
be
mean,
honest with you,
oh, by far, by
like
far.
it just feels
Didn't it?
different than like we knew. Like that was like a buying opportunity. We was all excited, but this right here, it's hitting way different, man. It's crazy.
I mean, we're
Like
sitting
like,
it
below.
doesn't feel like a buying opportunity.
it doesn't.
Although
It
I think
doesn't.
it is, but it doesn't feel
I,
like it.
I've
I
been
bought,
buying it,
but
and
yeah,
I've been buying it. Every time I buy, it goes lower and
It
lower.
sucks to buy
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
Diginacci.
usually when you know it's the right time to buy. Like,
correct.
you
Yeah.
know, and honestly, it's been a great week in general, guys. Don't get me wrong. Life is awesome. But yeah, I mean, this week in the market has felt worse than any week ever I can ever remember. Like, if I had a market, how do I feel about the market journal? This week would be the worst week I've ever had, which has been interesting, which I hope is a bottom signal because I'm so optimistic usually. But yeah, I mean, it just feels bad. It feels like it's guaranteed we're going to crash further at this point.
All facts.
Oh, yeah.
With
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Monday,
Duran
man, I
made some
think
great points earlier. I agree with you. I think we are going lower.
if this was bad for you, Will, this next week the group chat is going to be phenomenal. I think it's so good because like Will was so optimistic, like the 10K, the Jake Claver, and like going towards the end of the year, we was like, all right, you sure, Will? He like, oh, absolutely, absolutely, we're going higher. And so now to see Will come back down to earth, I love you, brother, but it's just been funny as hell. Like,
yeah, man. You know, whatever. I'm still that optimistic. It just doesn't feel good right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't
The
feel
only way
good. Like,
to capitalize and spin this is to just open up some shorts, not financial advice, and dollar cost average your position down. That's really it.
time to go 100x on a BTC
Well,
short.
isn't
Yeah.
it crazy that JP Morgan takes out all these shorts and cashes in exactly at $73 or right in there? They took all those short positions over 100, and oh, guess what? It hits their exact exit point.
Oh, I'm so surprised.
It's pure corruption, man. It's pure corruption. God.
Yeah, there's gonna
It's
have
like
to
nothing
be
we can do with it,
divine
man.
intervention. There's gonna have
There's
to be
a
something that happens.
has to be. I think I know the silver lining.
Oh, nice pun.
Haha. But someone play the clap from the live audience. That's so large. The silver lining, guys. This has been a crazy week for me. I've had ups and downs emotionally. Like in general, I've been pretty solid. Like in my actual life, it's just been the markets that have really thrown me for somewhat of a spin. Which has been a good self-reflection. Like today in the creek in sauna and just being active with family was great perspective. But the silver lining, other than community, is guys, this stuff that is being built on blockchain is actually revolutionary. Like, you know, Duran talked about some of the fundamentals, and Phil dove into a few things and how great things are actually happening right now. But I this week have seen firsthand how systems, DeFi systems that are being built within the space actually work. And so when I think of the silver lining, we talk about these banks and this manipulation. I saw this clip of Brian Armstrong at Davos talking about explaining the difference between why stable coins are more secure because they're backed one-to-one versus fractional reserve banking, where they're just lending everybody's money out infinitely. And so when I see the pain that's in the market right now, it's clear to me that it's because this old system and style of fiat is truly crashing, which means I know that on the other end of this misery that I feel, there is this Valhalla of which this whole new system is coming. And to dive, like, and Flare's not the only system that can do this. There's DeFi on ETH, there's DeFi on Solana, there's plenty of DeFi around the crypto marketplace. What makes Flare so fascinating is that it's built for XRP and unlocking the liquidity of XRP. But when you dive into the actual mechanics and start using the lending and the dexes and the staking and understanding what we can truly build, I think this week was the first week like it really hit me diving with my hands deep in the ecosystem. If I were to share my screen up here with you guys, you'd see about 11 tabs open of different Flare protocols that I can deploy things like FXRP, Flare, Wrapped Flare, STXRP, all these different ways of staking, earning yield, lending, providing collateral, liquidity pools with pairs that provide the necessary liquidity for DEXs to operate. And when you see this stuff firsthand, it's like, this truly is the infrastructure behind banking. And I don't know if I don't know how I'm even sounding right now. Like I'm completely sober, but as high as can be somehow in this current moment is how I feel. And it's like, I'm looking at the infrastructure of the back end of a bank, and my mind is like, because you listen to clips of Joe Lubin just a few days ago talking about the reason that banks are fighting this Clarity Act right now is because they make a insane spread on us. Joseph Lubin is saying this on CNBC or wherever he's at. Like, this is a mainstream outlet. And you see someone being completely transparent about the fact that the banks are making huge spreads on us. Stablecoins are a threat to those banks because stablecoins can just provide us yield passively for just sitting our stablecoin in one place. And he says the options are, if either they have to stop it in the Clarity Act and they're going to somehow use their lobbyists to prevent it, right? Or the other option is that the banks actually start using this technology and providing their customers better yield. And what do you ultimately think is going to happen? Do you really think there's a chance that the banks can stop crypto at this point? And the answer is 100% no. The infrastructure of crypto is taking over. And when you're in the back end of something like Flare, and this is where, like I said, I'm so pissed off about the market, hate price action, ready to fight someone. Someone just pissed me off. Try it this way. But at the same time, I'm in this system of the DeFi, seeing firsthand the technology at work. And so, like, it's there, it's ready. Like, can I tokenize my house on top of Flare yet and borrow against it? No. But the fact is, the tech is there. Like, the banks have to switch. Like, when Jay Lubin is on national financial news talking about this directly, this isn't like a cat in the bag anymore. Like, the banks are not going to be able to stop this. Like, Coinbase already pays you a large APY. Are they going to stop? Like, am I going to no longer be able to get 4% on my stable coins because of the Clarity Act? I guarantee you they're not going backwards.
But I think the issue is, I think that the banks are lobbying to stop the yield. They're not stopping. They don't care about stable coins. They all integrating and adopting stable coins. They just want to keep the yield for themselves. And I think that's the issue that we running into, is like, the yields are going to stay, but they're just not going to pay the people that's using the stable coins through the institutions currently, like they do us now with our savings accounts. And they don't want Coinbase or Uphold or anybody else to use 4.5 interest rates to give it to their clients when they're not willing to do it. Now, stablecoins is going to be
able to stop it. Like, do you really think at the end of the day the banks are going to be able to stop it?
I think it's going to make it hard. I think it's going to make it very hard. It's going to be harder than it needs to be for the adoption. And
they're going to put up a fight, and they're ultimately going to lose.
Well, where do they make money? Where do they make money? What kind of money do they make money on? Fiat.
Right.
So they're going to do anything they possibly can while the dollar is failing miserably.
Mhm.
It's going to happen. We have to sit here through these growing pains. And even if they take our yield away, guess what? The dollar's still going to fail. And something's got to give. So that old fractional banking, fiat-based system, it's got to go. It's got to be backed. It's got to be backed. Something crazy's happening with silver right now. Something crazy's happening with gold. I know Echo just posted that he has sources saying that Silver's basically hitting a pause right now on the mining side of things so they can start
saw that.
tokenizing silver.
Yeah, I saw.
Who's to say that's not happening? Because we're watching it happen all over the place. They're just not going to announce it.
You saw that Xi Jinping just came out and said that he wants to make the yuan the reserve currency. So like this, everything is happening in real time, and I mean, to say that out loud is bold. That's really bold to say that. Like we knew China wanted to do that. We knew what they were trying to do with BRICS nations and all that stuff. But to say that out loud means that he thinks that the dollar is weak, which it is. But that means he knows definitively that the dollar is weak and this is the time to move, because all of this is strategy for every country that's going on. So he must see something that we don't see yet, but we know that's happening behind the scenes. And he's like, no, we need to change from the dollar, which that's not what we want. But like to say that out loud is crazy. You know what I mean? And that means that the system is broken somewhere and it's a disconnect. And they keep telling us that the dollar is strong, but that's bullshit. And we all know that. The
Well, it's all
normal
about to
consumer
get
may not know
equalized.
it, but we know it.
It's all about to get equalized through things like this DeFi. And that's what I'm saying. I think that's why my mind blew this week, is it's like, I'm in here playing with these protocols, recognizing that this is all the infrastructure you need to create your own bank. And this is all the infrastructure you need in order to generate your own source of value transfer. Like, here I am playing with it with my hands.
But that's why you need the Clarity Act, though. You do need the Clarity Act for DeFi, because they are attacking DeFi in a way where they will limit you from being able to get the yield out of DeFi. So having some kind of railroad.
Well, no, I think it only
DeFi,
has to do with stablecoin. I don't think there's any fight on the operational side of DeFi. I don't think that's
they were trying to say that it wasn't a technology. They were trying to not let it be a technology and make it where you have to have like the same regulation that you have in a bank. So that means you got to tell who is using it, who's in the dark pools, who is in this, who's in that.
Yeah, they want to hook up KYC. But that can be done. Like, even if that's required, that doesn't stop the DeFi from operating. That just potentially stops people on certain channels that are going to accept you unless you're KYC'd. So,
but that's
the underlying
the
tech,
decentralization is the whole point, though. Like, that's the whole point of DeFi, is to not have to worry about that.
No, not necessarily. Like, the whole point of DeFi is not to say unidentified. The whole point of DeFi is for there to be a baseline layer of technology that any sort of banking or value transfer can work on top of. Whether or not that's KYC'd or not isn't relevant to the technology that sits below it that allows for these things like collateralized lending, DEXs, all of these things to operate. JP Morgan could easily hop on and use DeFi. Like, they're going to ultimately have to. And I think that's what I'm recognizing with my hands in it, is it's like, and I think that's what's so mind blowing to me, is that all these banks and financial institutions are about to have to use something like Flare. Every single bank on the planet, whether or not they use Flare for wrapping XRP or other things of value, that can be argued. Like, what platforms are they going to use? But when this underlying technology, because they have to do no back-end accounting, that's the thing. Like, you start doing, like, when you recognize what Flare is as the plumbing underneath these banks that allows, they no longer have to have accountants. They no longer have to have auditors. They no longer have to have 80% of the back end of the bank is gone. Like, it's instantaneous. They don't have to have any sort of Nostra Vostra accounts. Like, we think of that a lot with cross-border payments when we get talking about that. But the Nostra Vostra exists between domestic banks too. Like, it's not only overseas payments that money has to sit. Like, maybe it's 3 days instead of 7 days because it's domestic. But at the same time, this stops all of them from having to do that. And I think that's
fair. But you got to look at it like this, Will. Think about this, though. The banks make money off of friction. And what you just identified is no friction.
100%. But if this technology exists, people are going to be able to use it. So even no matter what sort of regulation they try to put on in blockchain, let's just play devil's advocate, for example. let's say that the banks win with all this stuff that they're trying to get out of the Clarity Act. They're still going to have to use this technology because the bank over is going to use it. Because if they're still trying to make, call it 3% fees, like whatever the bank's trying to make on your money, I don't know. The next bank is going to use this technology that's much more efficient, and they're going to be like, okay, well, I'm only going to charge 2. Like ultimately, this competition of having this technology, whether or not the banks get what they want or not, it's going to force people, it's going to force all financial institutions to use this tech because it's so massively efficient. Like, and then they're going to just keep trying to undercut each other, and they're going
Which
to
is what we
each
want.
other to zero anyway, because they're not, because it's so efficient technology that everyone is just going to have to take thinner and thinner slices.
And I
Well,
agree. I think that's what we want. We want competition. Competition is better for the retailer.
Definitely.
Like, but so like I agree with you, and I think that this is 100% where we will go. But I think that the fight that we have in front of us is a bigger fight than we all know, because the banks want friction, because that's how they make the trillions of dollars that they make. JP Morgan doesn't want a simultaneous situation. They want friction so they can make the millions and billions of dollars that they continue to make. So I think that's why the lobbyists and all this shit is so important, because they're going to fight very hard for, you not to be able to use Flare Network. They don't care about the plumbing and then making it easy for us. They don't care about us. They only care about the friction that they get in the money.
I
Now,
don't
if they
think
can
that
make money off of it,
I
cool,
don't
but
think
if
that
they
fight
can't,
exists
all
anymore.
right. Hold up, guys. Let's go ahead and
think
let Phil sign off, because I know he's got a hard stop, and
my
I don't want to just see your screen go black.
bad.
For real. I mean, am
Good
I
seeing you,
wrong?
Phil.
Sean, Phil. Phil's gone.
There he goes. No, I think this whole
I don't think
subject
that's
would
part
be
of the
better
fight.
served if we could plan out an episode where we can make this Chinese seem like it's written on a whiteboard. If we could break it down a lot easier from an outsider's perspective, because we did have a comment last week asking about how all this stuff works. And I'm sitting here listening. I may understand what you're saying, Will, but I know the mass majority have no clue what even a DEX is. So,
Yeah.
so I think this would be better served if we could lay this out on an episode where we completely explain this in layman's terms of how all of this works. And then, because I can agree with both of you guys on this debate here, because that banks do operate and make money on that friction, and this out represents a completely lubed up system that doesn't need that. So we've experienced 10 years of the banks fighting us and fighting crypto. We're coming to a head. There are going to have to be some crazy decisions made. And one thing that I wanted to talk about was the fact that BlackRock has daily for the past 2 weeks been dumping Bitcoin to the tune of like $100 million plus every single day. Slowly but surely, they're dumping all this Bitcoin leading up to this decision. And why is all of that? Why are they dumping all of that if this decision isn't going to be monumental for the ISO tokens, for legality moving forward? What is going to stay in place? What are they going to give us bottom feeders? What are they going to let us have? But I think from my perspective, trying to take a bird's eye view of it all, they've been driving out people like us for months and for years, really. And this is the last push. Are they going to care about, 30, 40,000 people getting filthy rich? Probably not. But they sure as hell don't want millions of people benefiting from these life-altering legal changes that are coming to the table. So I would like to possibly start a board with you guys just so that we could kind of plan talking about DeFi opportunities moving forward and possibly the legalities of them. So I know we're about to breach half an hour, but I do think that we'd probably need another half hour to talk about those things.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's so much you can dive into with it. I just want to clarify, it is not my understanding about the Clarity Act, because I agree banks make their money through the friction. But it is my understanding about the Clarity Act that the battle right now is over stablecoin yield. The things like DeFi protocols being able to be used is not in debate. Like that is already guaranteed to be able to happen. Like they're not outlawing the technology. The banks are just trying to prevent exchanges, non-banks, like a Coinbase or an Uphold, from being able to pay their customers yield on just holding stable coins, because they don't want people to hold their money in Uphold. They want their people to hold money in the bank. So with that, they're going to all have to, on some level or another, whether they're tied in with consensus and are going to use the DeFi built on ETH, even though it's ridiculously expensive and slow compared to other options. The fact and this is why, like, yeah, Sean's making jokes about me, going nuts in the chat this week. And it's true, because I have really felt pissed at the market. But at the same time, I've never felt more bullish, because I literally this week spent hours playing with what it actually means to be able to operate a bank. And my mind is blown, because I, for the first time in my life, see exactly how to set a bank up myself. And the reason that excites me is because although maybe I'd like to start with a little bigger chunk of change, even than what I have now, which I'm very blessed, but the ability to set yourself up cash flow, it's like the 4 quadrants of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or it's like how Coach JV constantly talks about the different steps of making sure that you actually build wealth. Well, I'm sitting here telling you guys why I'm so excited is because you can do all of that in a DeFi platform. You can buy yourself cash flow, be able to put more revenue back into cash flow that then allows you to buy more assets to hold for the long term, that then you leverage those assets. So you never actually sell anything. You leverage those assets to be able to buy more cash flow, which then you use that cash flow to buy more assets, which you can then leverage against to buy yourself even more cash flow until you just want to pay off any leverage that you have because the cash flow is so good. Like that is literally what you can do. And that is the basis of being able to have a bank. Like you can basically set yourself up a family bank for yourself that your generation and your descendants and your entire family will be able to pull money from for the rest of your life. And you don't have to do all the crazy other things. Like, and the stuff that Coach JV talks about is not even that crazy. It's being able to have life insurance that you can borrow against, buy cash flowing dividend stocks, but the fact of what DeFi does is we can do it all right there. Like I can do it all right there. I can make 35 to 40% just on flare staking through some stacking and looping.
And I think that
and so if you believe that flare is only going to go up from here, well, that 30 to 40% is significant now. But if it 10x's over the next 5 years, that 30 to 40% I made is also worth a lot more. But the thing is, I mean, being able to set yourself up where it's not like it's enough cash flow. You can live on some of it. You can reinvest some of it. Like that's what you can do with DeFi. And my brain is just like,
I think
a crazy week.
I think once viewers understand in layman's terms what you're talking about, maybe it'll help understand why there's so much resistance, why there's so much friction moving forward, because for the first time ever, it should be common knowledge of how to take advantage of all of these machines, all of these instruments of how to make money. Because for the longest time, the Rockefellers and anybody up there, this is exactly what they've been doing, and that's what JV talks about pretty often. This is the rich man's way of understanding the system. And Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I mean that's some toes in the water compared to some of the actual loopholes and mechanics that can be used for us, but they've been using it for the longest time. They've been compounding who knows how many quadrillions of dollars, and now it's our time. So what I think we should do is I'd like to make like a diagram and charts explaining these instruments so that people could understand what kind of possibilities lie ahead in this system, because this is and this will be a way for us to break free from the current financial system, no matter if that's a debt-backed system, actual banking. I mean, they've been utilizing it the whole time for centuries. So now it's our turn to finally step up and understand what we can get into. And Will has done this on our team moving forward, kind of sticking his head out in front of everybody, diving into this, which has been awesome because it takes quite a bit of courage and understanding to make these kind of financial moves. Because I'm sitting over here watching Will make these changes and put his money here and there, and I want to know more about it, but I also want our followers to understand exactly what you're talking about too. So I think over this next week, we should try to put together some charts and diagrams for viewers to kind of understand exactly what we're talking about, because these opportunities are going to be they're going to be ever so present for us moving forward, especially when clarity happens. And you don't want to be too far behind the ball whenever these things are available. And Will is on the ball right now, and I'd like to know just as much as everybody else exactly how to get into these things and what they mean. So that's
Yeah.
what I want to do over this next week, is putting together these kinds of things, and then also developing some devil's advocate questions about all these things to help people understand, because there was a comment in our last video just asking about how all this stuff works, and I think it would do some service to help our fellow brothers, sisters, whoever you are out there watching this, just giving them a little bit of understanding of what the future holds for us financially.
Yeah. And what I'll say
Absolutely.
is there's hot wallets out there that make this stuff easier, like Bitfrost for sure. And Zalman is about to integrate some stuff that's going to be really great for the general person. Um, Things that they're doing that I'm aware of. But what I'd say is you can do all this straight out of your hardware, your cold storage. And that's what I've done. And that's what's cool, is because it's like, dang, well, like I'm really actually putting XRP and Flare to work now. And the only reason that you wouldn't be excited about this is if you don't think Flare is going to exist. For me, I'm using the Flare network because it's the DeFi built for XRP. So if you believe that Flare is going to exist, then there's no way to not be insanely excited about this if you think XRP and Flare are going to be still around in 5, 10 years and beyond. But if you're doing this stuff on ETH, if you're a big believer in ETH, there's DeFi built on Solana as well
Yeah.
that you can do if you are more bullish on Solana than XRP. Like the thing is, it's there and it exists and it can be done. And it's not that it's easy, but it's also not hard. Like, you can do it. You just have to learn it.
Yeah, I think I agree
And
with
so I
Sean. I think
apologize for sounding like the mad scientist this week, but
no, man. I think that what you're doing, like Sean said, is like you kind of dipped your
yes,
toe in it, and then you jumped in, and now you got a better understanding. So
Sean,
for
special
us, we
guest for
gotta
you.
get a better understanding of it.
Oh man, what is up? Now you can see what a 6'2" man or looks right next to
I'm a full size man for reference.
he's a full-size man, absolutely.
Dropping
Dad
off
bod and
a full-size
everything.
pound of chicken.
Dude, Orrin and I smoked a bunch of Jamaican jerk chicken and Orrin on his smoker. And I didn't stick around long enough to eat any of it. So this is how good of a friend I have. He brought me jerk chicken.
I'm
Man,
pretty sure my wife
It,
kicked
it, it wouldn't be an episode of Sean when or if Will wasn't eating some food. Sean,
my
You guys
God,
have been talking too long. Now he's hungry.
he's
I mean,
already drank a quarter gallon of milk, and now, well, I think we need to be sponsored by some sort of placard company, with a floss company or something like that.
Oh yeah, good set of toothpicks.
Yeah, yeah. But
Even more important than Will's takes on XRP is Will's takes on Jamaican jerk chicken. Will, give us your first impression of this chicken wing.
This is some authentic Jamaican jerk sauce that we got from an actual Jamaican man.
He doesn't look Jamaican.
Not me.
No, not Oren.
Oh man.
Oh
My tile guy in here in Colorado, Orain Crooks, is from Jamaica. I've been working with him for, I don't know, about 9 years.
He did the floor in my house too. He's great.
Yeah, he's incredible. And so shout out to Orain Crooks. Amazing. And yeah, we cooked some Jamaican chicken for him because he doesn't eat beef and he doesn't eat pork, which I cook a lot of. So we got to cook a lot of chicken for him.
Right.
Maybe we have a new sponsor in the works. But it's probably a good time
Jerk
to close this one out on the
Let's wrap it up, guys.
on the account that will probably not even be able to hit stop with his nasty ass fingers. But
the rest of the episode's on you, brother.
oh man. Well, I think we should try to simplify talking about DeFi opportunities for anybody who wants to know, because it does take one of us. It does take somebody in the real world dabbling into these kinds of things to finally be comfortable with those, because you can always sit back and watch, but until somebody is that first guy to buy Bitcoin, XRP, or whatever, you're probably just like, oh, whatever, I don't know about it. So I think let's take a little bit of time while we're off this week talking about the DeFi and kind of simplifying that for the viewers and friends. So we'll go ahead and sign off on this one. Duran, what does your hat say one more time?
Get out your feelings because you can't make money there, man.
Oh, good.
Get out your feelings because you can't make money there.
Nasty.
Solid.
Yeah.
Nasty. Well, I'm XRP Sean. It's been a pleasure to be joined by
Crypto Heavy.
Will Car Speaks. Until next time, guys.
We will see you guys next week.